Hey guys, welcome to again this build my project last lecture of Python. So this is before starting the Python lecture, I will just give you the small introduction about my company. Build my project way of automation is the name of my company, and here is about us. We actually may have more industrial projects as well in training sector. The person those who make industrial projects like for the prototype for the industrial level, and the same experts are the one who has been in a training sector. So there is nothing different between that the trainers are different and the project builders are different. So the trainers, those who have an actual hands-on the industrial level projects, are the one those who are training you. So this is a most beneficiary about our company, that the trainers ourselves are the one those are in working in a company level except. Okay, so the vision and the mission for of our company is basically that we are the one who has been providing not only the lectures to the engineering students, but we are providing lectures from the school level to the corporate level. So some of the, you can say, the clients are from Reliance, Infosys, and Technova. We have a college clients which where we give collaboration for, just like IIT, NITs, Vidya Vihar, VJTI, Ruya, and MIT choose. And we have a school clients which are mostly international, just like Anahar International, Ambani, and many more. So some of the projects we have been building from, as where the placements our company can give is from Godrej, Satyam, Minda, and you can have many of more names where we can print us. So these are the news where you can see the Build My projects was been explored. It was started in 2016, but within a 4 year you can see this some of the prototypes, or you can say some of the definitions where we have been established our company as well from all the different type of languages newspaper. So you can see over here there's some of the Tamil, some of the Kannada, some of the English, some of Marathi, some of the Hindis, even news channels, and with the different news channels you can see. So here is the company that we are allowing a different sites. Okay, so basically what our domains are, what do we do in actual our company is basically we provide workshops for our college levels and the college levels. We also provide school robotics lines from primary to from primary to secondary level. We also provide school robotics. We basically most one of the most focused part is industrial level project. We make prototype for the project. This one who's been displaying on that, it's for a navy, you can say for the Indian Navy we have produced that. And there is a one more which is very important. It's a kids training. It's for the pre-primary students, when the people still have with the new trend of having where the tablets people are using, or children are using tablet nowadays, but still don't know about the technology. So we make them provide them technology and have a hands-on experience on. We also provide internship to our students, where the students want to know about the internship. And this FDP is nothing but we provide even a workshop, so you can say a teaching or lecture or training to corporate level. So those are people who are actually working on companies. We also provide things for that also. So basically some of them, we are in our company we having more than 50 technologies we are working for now, and within that technology is being displayed on your on a desktop as well. And the some of the most trended technology is one of the, you can say, from IT corporate from IT training is nothing but Python. So we started this company with an company lecture online as in live for the Python lecture as well. And this some of the technologies we will be moving forward and giving in this quarantine area. So we are moving forward for this. So this is basically some of the very small description about my company. So we'll move further and let's see what is the last lecture says about. As you can see, in last lecture I taught you about different object orientations ways, and basically they are nothing but the function defining. But this class and object is creating a more versatile, or you can say more enhancement to the definition function, or writing more bigger projects, or you can say more bigger codes in a very small areas. So basically, we are now establishing a whole Python new era of writing, not from where generating a variable to a part where you can write codes for any project, or you can write codes for any of the following different prototypes also. So we will move further and let's see what we can teach now in this lecture. We will be dealing with, as you can see on screen, I will be teaching you about inheritance. I will be teaching you about inheritance. What will be the second? Polymorphism. And the third one is, you can say, it's encapsulation. And one more is nothing but really important, it's time and date. We will be discussing only one example on time and date, but these three are very important factors if you go across the Python. If you go in any object oriented, even like a C++, you will get inheritance, polymorphism and encapsulation there also. But Python deals with an emerging data. You have across your whole laptop, or you can even have across more than billion tons of data also. So this inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation actually the enhancing tool for our class object factors, which are we learning in Python as well. So this basically makes our code more interesting, or you can more twisting and even more versatile than we basically see in a particular code. If you are a gamer, or if you have been seen a GTA, as just example, because most of the coders had loved game, because the gaming is a factor where we come across computer and have a contact with them, even though it's a movie, or even though it's doing some work, or even writing an Excel sheet as well. So this type of stuff, whatever the software you have installed, requires a much number of codes which you cannot be counted without the words. It's just like the which I have been working, it requires more than 25,000 lines of codes, which I am teaching you is about some of like not more than 15 to 20 lines of codes, which we have taken example. But actually what we I am doing is basically connecting all the things and collecting all my data and giving them in a proper shape as well. So with the help of that, if I try to write those code within a 50 to 60,000 lines, but with the help of this polymorphism and different tools what we are learning, it's able to make me help that contain that 60,000 of lines within just 25 or 24,000. Yes guys, we cannot make more reducible, because it really depends on how we'll use the logic. Some of the codes are really important that you cannot use logic in them. You have to go separate step by step and step by step, because the data are so variant, or you can say this may also slow the process. You must also process and show the glitch in that. But here, if you say, if you're going a more important one, then how it could happen. So basically what this inheritance means, if you have in a 10th standard, there is a one more thing called heritance, which nothing but something called which is been inheritance, which is, you can say, something coming from our parents, or some any ability or any technique which is coming on from parents. But what do we require? This term we call in Python, what this Python basically may be calling as inheritance. There is a one, you can say, there, take as of the caps, there is one parent, as you can say, parent code, and one as a child code. Okay, this parent code has, you can say, a main code, is equal to main code, and the child code, you can say, are derived code, are derived codes. Okay, so the parent code is always can be one, or you can still make a more, it doesn't matter, but there is a one code which is always been constant, you can say, the main source of following a data where it has been happening so far. So the child codes are the one who has been inheriting the progress, or you can say the data transformation from one sector, or you can say from the another code which is a parent code, and you can derive from that, and you can able to write those codes in a different age. So this is nothing but a child code having a derivation from the parental code. We will learn about this, because sometimes whenever why this sometimes whenever require, why we call it as a child code, is the reason why we are deferring it, is like having an abilities, and just like in Python, having a code or having a logic which is actually matching to the parental code. this is nothing but a child code, and the child code can able to access the data from the parent code as well. This make a code more vulnerable, or you can say more dynamic, of instead of using a data properly. As you can see in C or in a C++, the data is being not inherited properly, which make it compromise the data from one source to the another packet of source. So this create a glitches, and that's the reason it require thousands number of line, when in Python it don't require more than hundreds of hundred number of lines. So there is a big difference between a C plus C code and a C plus plus code, as well as in Python code, where a C plus plus is although an object oriented, but the dynamic of the Python which is given is just due to the writing, because the codes of Python itself is written in C. So there is no harm in using Python for the various purpose, though if you are in the technology interest, you can go for the C as well. That's no issue, because the bigger companies like Google, and you can say a bigger companies which work actually on the technology levels, creating a more enthusiastic, have a very good occurration for the C and C++ as well. And if you want to come across a bigger companies who need to handle a wide store of data like a Windows and Amazon, you can say, or Alibaba, you can come across a Python where they require a data handler, less like a data scientist. So I am basically working on that field also, that I am working for the data scientist as well, with my all prototyping stuff and the company industrial project, where I design projects for them. So we'll move further and see what's been going on here. So basically what this inheritance, so I will read a proper definitions for you, so you will get the proper value what this inheritance been classified in you. So without supporting inheritance, the object oriented is not worth for implement applications, because it's unable us to use the member attributes and the method one class into another. This is nothing but the coding language what I've said. If you still want the code, I'm not using my own language instead of code, because this is one of the important topics. So I need to be more, you can say, more accurate or precise while I'm reading this type of questions, because these are the ones tools you require to use the whatever that thought I have, whatever the 6 days of, you can see, the Python lectures require, whatever you have learned. This actual are the tools where you are gonna use in those Python for covering wrapping up. So basically what, if you see the definition, I will be writing that. So this is whatever I have wrote on a desktop. You can read that. There's nothing but actually basically our actual object, or you can say the definition of the inheritance. Those required, I have wrote and exactly what I have get from the notes as well. So you don't require to need. So let's focus on what is the syntax of this. If I try to show you the syntax, how it looks like. So as you can see on my desktop as well, that what is this basically, I am trying to say that syntax class, derived class, and the class base. So if you try to compare from the previous class and object, then there was only one class name, but here you can see the derived class name is different and the base class, this base class is nothing but what I was talking about, the parent class. Which class? The parent class. And this derived class is nothing but a child class. Means the whatever the data you want, you can derive from this base class. Means whichever data you want, whichever you can see, whichever data you require from the whichever class, you have to name that class here, and you can use that data with the help of this syntax in your code as well. So this is the power of using inheritance in thoughts. Okay, let's try with just an example where you can see this, how this look like. Okay, so I'm opening my spider again, and I just deleted last time, so I will start again. I just increase the font so you can see it proper. So I will make one class smaller. Okay, so I'm making one class contact, class contact info. So this is for the class contact info, and again, so contacts, let's see, I try to give the contacts as in form of list. Excuse me. And I will define one init function. As I told you last time, what is init function? You can check my previous videos. It's been, I still had uploaded, I didn't deleted that those stuff. Comma, and again self name comma init function is for you, that you need to give to need that the names as well. Okay, email, and I will again try to write that self dot name is equal to name, self dot email equals to email. Okay, you can see contact info dot contact contacts dot append self. I will explain you the each and every term in this code, so no need to worry. Just try to see what I am actually doing, and we will try to do that. And I will try to make, this is my parent class, you can say, and I will try my one more. I will do one more class, which will be nothing but a child class, or you can say a derived class. So add contact. I will name it as add contact and I will give it, as you can see, according to the syntax, I should write the name of that class which is from the previous class as well, which is my parent class. So I will write contact underscore info. Okay, def reader and here it comes contact self comma reader. Okay, print e5 comma distributed system format reader format. Okay, format as well. I can say reader comma select. So I'm now creating an object, and this object will call my class as well. So I will go for the contact info. I'm creating an object for our second class, which is nothing but derived class. Let's say Hari at the rate Hari. So I will print all the data I have given to them now. Comma ci dot email, okay, comma ac ac dot now going on ac dot name comma ac dot email. Okay, this is how it works. Print say sci dot contact. Okay, and let's try to print this thing. And okay, so here you can see the data has been derived from one part to the another part. So you can see now, instead over here self dot name email and the self dot name email name and email I have been provided in itself, where you can see in parent as well. I have provided this name in parent as well, and if you are coming over here, you can see, coming over here, if you can coming over see, we can see that it's been also deriving an actual value, for actual values from right, without writing any code. We can still get those code, from the parent as well. I have not written the code in add context, but I wrote those codes in parent, in email and name in a email and in parental, but not in a child, not in a child codes. Okay, that was a different. This is not just like a calling a function, right? It's not like a calling a function, or you can say just we are grabbing. This is a inheritance. Inheritance, you can use those answers, you can use those of codes as well as data, but definitions or functions don't allow you to do that. They allow you to do, actually just allow you to use the codes, not the data. They don't allow you to use those data, but with the help of this calling function, you can say inheritance function, it helps you to call it many times, use those data, or you can use this in addition. If you have a phone in your if you have a phone like a smartphone, if you get updates in that phone, right? So what those updates are, basically they are nothing but creating, every time whatever the codes are, they are creating a child codes, or you can say a child class, but they are actually using the codes which is already within that, which is already within the within your phone, and they are using those data to create more versatility on making it more adjustable. So this type how this actually works. You can see, if you able to open any of the codes of large files or something, you can see those codes are actually totally filled with the such type of things, which is nothing but our object orientation. And within that, whatever the codes I have taught till you now will be written in that. That's basically a logic, but the running of the code is nothing but will be happening within the help of your this class functions. Okay, so this is one of the explanation. So we'll move further and let's see what else we can do. So what if I try one more example. This one, it will be a bit more easy to make you understand. So let's say I create a class ABC. Okay, and I give the value a equals to 10, and I try to try to write definition, which is nothing but a simple definition, which is run as well. So I'm creating a class with a definition within a class as well. So this is a simpler one, and I return what I return true. Okay, so object is equal to ABC. Okay, I created the object, and now let's see what I can do with this object. I will print is instant is a bit mistake. Okay, done, clear. Is instant, and let's see, is with the help of is instant, what I can do. I will write to use that object. I to use that object and create ABC. Let's see what this codes give me. Basically, it gave me the value true. What this actually did, if the code runs, it will give me an instance value, and what it should return, it should return true. So basically what this basically code did, of this class code I actually did, is nothing but it just returned me the value. Okay, this is called is instance value. This is not inheritance, but is one of the part of inheritance where you can use is instance. So let's see what this is instance is more capable of. Okay, let's try object And what if I try to create a tuple list and tuple list comma tuple? What if I try to do this list and tuple? So as you can see, there is nothing like list and tuple. If there is instance, like at that instance, is there any type of value which is being as list or tuple? No, there is nothing like any of those value which will be given me any value for list and tuple. So this is the value which is being returning true, it will be given as false. Okay, and now what is print will be doing? Let's say what is else we can do in this is instance obj comma, let's see this list tuple. Could we try, if I try write abc, will this return me any value that abc within the value? It's returning true. Why is it returning true? So each instance I was telling that at that time in that object there is no value for that, but creating a list false and again a false, so that makes it basically a true itself. So getting an object from a list and tuple which is false, and which is getting from abc as well, is nothing but false. So false is nothing but makes our value true. So let's see what else we have. So I think so this is enough for you to understand what is instance. If you try to see if you want any value for this abc, you can use true. List and tuple, you will get the value true. And if you're using only those value without a definition of being abc as that, so you will be getting value false. So you have to use abc every time, no matter what it shows you. Understood what I did? I tried the creating a list and tuple and ABC differently, just like this, but this is not working. So ABC should be included in list tuple, and that bracket should be included. It should not be in this way. It will give you a syntax error. This is now the way how you include that values. So you need to write those. Okay, so you can take a pause and you can write afterwards. We'll move further and let's see what we can do now. Now here we come to our next part, which is nothing but called as a polymorphism. Now what is this polymorphism? As you can say, the I will directly write this the definition, so there won't be any explanation first. I read to. I think this much is enough to understand what we will do the overriding part afterwards. So what is this? Basically, the polymorph or the word polymorphism is a Greek word where the poly means many and the morphism means form. Polymorphism is the ability to define a multiple logic to perform the same operation. Python is implicitly polymorphic. You can, what is this basically is telling you that the polymorphism has many forms to, like, if you want an answer 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so what if you can say 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So I can use a different multiple logic for same answer. 2 into 2 is 2. 2 is to square is also 4. Sorry, 2 into 2 is 4. 2 into square is also 4. 2 of square is also 4. You can say 2 plus 2 is also 4. What is this basically? Basically having a different logic for the same answer or for the same operation is nothing but is called a polymorphism. Understood everyone? Understood clear that what is basically polymorphism? Python is implicit polymorphic. That means implicitly polymorphic, that is that Python provides you a so much variety of logics, then you can perform in a this way. This makes the Python not only some parts of Python polymorphic, but an every level or any code within the Python is being polymorphic, and you can use a different types for doing a same. Just like you can create a different input functions also. With the help of user defined function, you can create a multiple level of logics for the same operation as well. So this defines for that also. Okay, so let's see, let's try one simple definition, or you can say let's try. For that, before that, I just deleted one term. What is that called? Which is nothing but method overriding. Okay, method overriding. In object oriented programming, when a class is inherited from another class, the child class inherits all the methods from the parent class, and in some cases the method inherited does not fulfill the functionality of child class. In such cases, the particular method is re-implemented in the child class. The process is known as method overriding. The overridden method is called basing on the type of object used for calling it. If a child class method is used for calling the overridden method, the method in the child class is called as. If a parent class method is used for calling the overridden method, the method of a parent class is called. Okay, so if you don't still understand the what the definition I read, or you can see, you can definition, this is highlighted by me, or even I have some notes which is created by my own. So these are some definitions. So let's see a small you can say just like every time an example. Class, a very small example I will teach you in a simpler way. Def display self. Okay, and I will use print, and I will use print for that. Class A. I'm sorry if you're getting any disturbance from my background. As you can know, I'm working from home. Okay. You can now, you may be understanding what is self is basically. Self is basically a parameter. Okay, if you've seen the definition, what comes under this bracket, nothing but a parameters. So now after creating two classes, let's see how this works. B1 is equal to B a1 is equal to a. Okay, so b1, let's see display. Okay, and b1, let's see display, and let's see a1 dot display. Both are having same functions, but what is this difference will be there? Let's see with an output. Oh, the class A is when written for the class A, and class B is from which written class A. Understood? Clear the factor that I have used class B and class A for the showing purpose, that having in a same having the same direction but still a different stories, you can say. I'm writing the same logic, but I'm writing the same thing but with a different logic, just for showing that I can use a B, I can use a class B for that, I can use a class A for that. Totally doesn't matter, it depends totally on how you use that. So what if I try, what will the value of this? This is the what I created, was just the basic. Now this is actual polymorphism. See, but still it's required creating my A and B. Although I have herited the value of class A from that, so it's not stopping me to heritate, or you can see to do any other converts or giving me any type of mistake. So I can use the same logic. It understands that once the A B is been produced and once A is the self display, then we need to do only one of them, because as you can see, you can display is 1 over here for A and display 2 is for the here. If the both are running together for the same definition, so it will be run within them only one. What it will do, it will run within that one. This shows that you can use a different logic, but if there is we want to run both from within, then only one should run. So you can use this polymorphism function, or you can say method overriding for that. So what if I use a one? Okay, this is called a basically polymorphism. Now here we come across one part which is nothing but you can say encapsulation, or what I was talking about, encapsulation. I will write the definition first. It's a bit important and big definition, so just be patient. अरे आवाज कम करो. Okay, so we are moving forward. This was a definition where we use the definitions. I wrote all the definition with the syntax as well. So in this encapsulation, so if I try to say you the what is this encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but in a philosophical understanding, it's called as a wrapping of an object. Now, though your object is been objectified or creating in a box of an code, but in further future, if you want to access or in according to definition in program orientation programming, you can restrict the access of to method and variable. If you want some data which is been should be within the code, but the variable but the other code requires that code, but you want to be code to be stay as there as well. Maybe it's a, if other code require you want to restrict that, so that for the restriction you create one encapsulation. What do you create? One encapsulation. This encapsulation will help your data to be more secure and use this factor to create the box as a wrapping factor. Though you created a box, but still your data can be accessible with the help of inheritance, polymorphism. You can use that. But if you use encapsulation, whichever data you want to be restrict or you want to make it a clear path, you can use that form of that. So this is encapsulation is used for that purpose as well. This can prevent the data from being modified accidentally and is known as encapsulation. Some of the data are really important which you require not to be confined, just like company's data or some of the data which been shown in display on any other factor, just like a website or any other part where you don't want to be accessed or you don't want to be altered until you want. So it cannot be accessed by other code to create a glitch for that. So you use the encapsulation for that particular variable or that particular data, so that it won't be accessed or won't be altered by any other method or any other code. So here we can restrict the access of class members by making them private. Even the class members are not allowed to do the changes of those code. Maybe your class whatever you have created is a much bigger than I have imagined or you have created. This maybe number of great number of require great number of statements. Maybe that statements may require to alter those data which you want to keep it as it is. So even encapsulation provide you that factor that the class members are even not allowed to use that. Okay, so let's see an example with that, so you will get a better conclusion or you can see a better view towards that. So again I come to my spider, again delete, and I create one class. Let's say I use mapping this time, name as map. Okay, def init self comma iterable self dot items list. I will explain you this time. I will explain you totally. First I will explain you all the codes what I have written, and after that we'll move forward. Okay, and I won't try to run the code as well. So this is basically, you can say, I created one private copy original update. You can see original update method. These are nothing but are called method. Okay, so let's if I'm creating a class map, which is I'm creating a parent, I also create one inherited, or you can say one derived class also, where my access da data will be accessing. Okay, so mapping, I called it as subclass, mapping subclass, and again that within that mapping. Now here I need to write the data, so I will give you first some doc string that you should understand what's going on. Provides not private. Let's see, it's provides new signature for updates, or you can say what else, but does not break. No, wait, connect. Okay, this will be, I think so, enough for you to understand what is going on. And so let's see, for let's say like item, I need to write script in that, so I will use a zip keys. So what the values are, let's say values, so I will create something with that, and I'll use self dot items again, list dot append item. Okay, so here I completed that. So I will define a list over here now. Comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50 comma ms, which is nothing, I'm creating an object which will give me, I will write, if I have wrote that mapping subclass, I want to map my list class one. So this is how it's gonna be. I will try to run this. Okay, so hope this comes not be indent in that keys is not defined. Keys, okay, mapping. So okay, I didn't try. I think so. I need to define first. Define updates. Let's say updates. I use a self for that. Comma keys values. No, I think so. This is fine enough. Okay, so this will be nothing but creating again. Okay, so I think so. This is fair enough for this. So I think so. This is working great now. So let's see what is coming. Okay, now basically what is happening over here, you can consider that class mapping init function and iterable function where it could be used for the purpose. So you can use the definition, you can use a print function for that, and we'll move further. So this was basically nothing but an encapsulation, or you can say method overriding. Now this is a very small part of you can say a very small part of Python's. The Python is what I have teach you is nothing but an overview structure of Python. But you, if you need to know what the Python is actually the defined definition, or the Python actually means to you, is you have to require a more lot of patience and require more number of operations for that. So this is how the Python will learn. We will start now. After that we will start our paid lectures. In that paid lectures we will be using now here some of the factors I didn't teach you, but in the paid lectures we will be teaching you that also. So this is how it's gonna happen. We will create a more number of time and require more number of attention, more number of people, and more number of you can say practice as well. So we will be doing in that session which requires actual number of you can say this was a free lecture for you, for your betterment, for your purpose. So after that whenever we may meet with a new chapter or maybe continuity, but we may come up with a paid lecture as well for you, for making you because people are not that good people. The reason why we are making this paid one, because we understand that the which people are more serious. So if they are serious with this codes, or if they are serious with this Python programming, they can come up with the more factors, they can come up with this paid structure. The fees will be very less for you, even it is less for the any other courses you will be working on, you will be going across the classes, it will be more less than that. And I will be amounting a huge content, I will be giving you the content as before only, and this time I won't be writing there, I will be giving you I will be routed everything down and everything with the proper definition. Now I won't be going with you, I will be a bit ahead of you so that you can cope up with understand everything. So there will be a more plotting, or you can say the more planning, with a more enthusiastic teaching lessons, and more new topics and more deeper topics with a more understanding and more zero factors. So this will be we will be learning in a paid structure as well. So if you still want to just contact or the BMP, go to the BMP courses as well, bmpcourses.com, and you will get all the lectures, all the details over there. Thank you so much. I will end my session over here. So I will end my session over here. Thank you for